Good morning, everybody. We're going to just finish up the sleeves and the hem. I did one sleeve. Right there. I know this is going to be a little big on me, but it's all right. I can dart it if I need to. But so this is just like how we did the neckline. And I'll just recap, I think, what we did last night. I just got so tired. You do your 1/2 inch seam line. And then you trim close to that seam line on this ruffle. And then you turn it over again and press it. And then you're going to sew this down. So just kind of roll it under. And that seam should almost come to the top. So you have something like this. And just do that all the way down. I'm trying to get this done this morning. The dog wants to go swimming. He keeps going to the pool, so I know he wants to go swimming. So keep pressing that down and then sew right at that fold, that upper fold. So this will be held down. Okay. And when I get finished with this, I'll make a video. I'll pull a name from the basket for a free pattern. Okay, so as close as you can get it, start sewing this edge. Okay, if you had not made your marks, these are kind of crucial. You kind of need these. So you're going to just match up your notch right here. Okay, and then there's a dot here. There's that. And then you have a square. So just mark that. And then you have one on the other end. So just get those marked because you really need those marks. Okay, so now we're going to gather with the butcher string. Let me see if I got another piece that's long enough. That's not pretty fray. Okay, then to do it, let me just cut off this little piece here. Throw that part out. Okay, set your sewing machine to zigzag. I go to about 3.6. And this is on the notched edge. This part was the unnotched edge. So just put your twine close to the edge. And fit that twine on the split of your foot. Put my foot down there. Slip down a little. Okay, and then just sew this, zigzagging back and forth all the way down. And just keep going. Just be sure that stays in the middle of that split. Okay, get your shirt. Oh, there's that. I already done that one. Okay, now this dot is the shoulder seam. So pin that. Be sure that seam is opened. Now those two squares are the side seam. So once you start gathering, okay, we'll gather this. And there, let me see, is there, I don't know if there's a notch on this side. Yep, right there. Okay, find your notch. And just pin that. Sometimes you have to take out your pins to gather a little bit more. Okay, come all the way down to where this, let me get you down more. Okay, where this dot or square is, you want it on that seam. So kind of have this edge right up to here. And when you come back around, it's going to be laid over so the square's there. And that way it looks like a finished edge. Okay, and then just start gathering up. Try to get it as even as you can. And start pinning. Now be sure when you pin, you're keeping this straight. And there's no buckling on the back. So I usually get one side done and then I come back to the next side. I'm going to put another pin right there. That's my seam. So keep gathering. Okay, now I'm going to have to pull a little bit more. Okay. And then just kind of keep moving it up. get those even, those edges even. This is a pretty tight ruffle, not as in the ruffle itself, but it's a tight area. You can't like lose a lot of space. You really got to be right on that edge. So get this done. And then when I get the other side done and coming where that other square is, I'll show you what to do. Okay, when you get to the end, where this square is, put that square on top of it. And pin it down. And be sure you have this little piece also pinned. Okay, let me just get this a little, there we go. Get your thread, your basting or gathering thread upwards so you don't sew it in. Okay, now you're going to do a 5/8 seam allowance. Like I said, I usually just, not hard, but I just kind of pull. I might have a little chunk right there. But you just kind of move it around. Even when you're sewing, you can move it around a little. Okay, 5/8 seam allowance all the way around. Now this jumps a lot because of the gathering. So just go slow and be sure that you got those edges together. You want those edges together. Be sure this is straight, your ruffle straight, and be sure back here, this is all straight, that there's no buckling. So I usually start like on the back part or the side part of the underarm, and I'll start about an inch away, and that way I know I have caught everything that needs to be caught. This is kind of a little thicker spot. Now what it will look like at the end is like this. So you're kind of just overlapping, and it kind of just makes it look like a ruffle. Okay, let me get this sewn up, and then we'll pull out our bias tape, and then we need to trim a little. Forget to put your sewing machine back to your straight. So where this area is, I go pretty slow so I know I'm getting that flap done. Be sure your gathering threads are out of the way. And like I said, you can see it jumps a lot. It doesn't like to stay at the 5/8. So you really have to kind of push it. And just be sure everything is straight under here, or flat. And just keep working at it. Okay, once you do that, take out your gathering thread. Ooh. Like I said, hold on to this. Okay, now you're going to make you're going to trim this close to the seam that you just made. Just don't cut your shirt. Be sure everything is straight. And I cut probably about 1/8 away. You just want to get all this bulkiness off. So just keep going around. It's going to be pretty, but I know this top is going to be too big for me. Okay, don't hit that seam. You don't want to open that ruffle up. All right, now we're going to go and get our bias tape. And we have to open up one side of it. They're building a house next to me. I can hear them. They're putting the foundation in. I can hear them pounding away. Okay, so just like the neck, you're going to pin this. I'm going to get to the bottom here. You're going to pin the top of the bias tape right at that seam. Now leave a little extra because we have to turn this. And start pinning it. Be sure that the ruffle is down. Oh gosh, we're gonna have to hear that all day. The animals are gonna go nuts. So just keep going around. And don't pull it like really tight, because remember, you're going around in a circle. So you just kind of have to have it not loose, but at least where you can get it to move. So keep doing that, and then I'll come back at the end, show you how to do it. Then we sew, trim it again, and that should be, we should be almost done. Okay, so when you get to the end, just fold this and bring it over to that end of this, pin it, and then you can snip it off. Just get a pin in here. And just snip this off. There. Okay, now you're going to sew on this first crease all the way around. Just be sure everything is straight and flat. Oh, pin. Okay, once you have that done, just go around. You might have to trim a few spots where this is not even with your bias. So just go around. I don't have too much. That looks pretty good. Okay, go back to your iron and your ironing board. Get your pins. And I usually open up my shirt the opposite way. Okay. Let me get my little ironing board because this thing works great. Okay, what you're gonna do is just fold down. Oh, let me get that. There we go. I gotta get this little pious tape to fold. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so just kind of pull your ruffle up. And then press. Get your pins and pin this down. Be sure you straighten out your shirt or top. And then just keep pinning, pressing. And when I get to where I'm gonna join them, I'm gonna use my heat bond. Just keep doing this, and when I get around to that, I'll come back on. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little of my heat bond stuff down. So you gotta do it in 2 spots, because you want this piece to stay down. So do that piece first. Okay. Then come back with another little piece and go on top of it. And then pin it. Okay, now you're going to sew around close to this edge. Be sure you keep everything straight. And this stuff, sometimes you get little pieces of it where it's melted on your iron. I just wait for my iron to get cool, and then I take rubbing alcohol and I just clean the surface of my iron, because it will leave like that sticky residue on your clothes. Okay, I start like 1/2 inch away and just sew up. Just be sure you keep checking that it's flat. Come back to your iron. I don't know which one I did. And just press your ruffles up. Not up, but out. Okay. Now we have the hem. I have to make a bobbin. It was beeping the whole time that I was sewing. Okay, so let me go make my bobbin quick. Have enough to do my hem. So this is a 5/8 hem. So I'm just gonna turn under a 1/4. Oops. And then I'll come back and just turn it under. And pin it. So just do a 1/4 inch all the way around. And this is where I use clips. Just keep going around. Okay, everybody, here it is. I'm gonna take just 1 or 2 little tucks right in the back, just to kind of keep it up. Well, not keep it up, but it's a little bit too big. So I'm just gonna do 2 little tucks back here, or darts. Okay, everybody, that was 57.92 Butterick. I can't find my little package up here. So I did this one, and like I stated, I'm just gonna take a couple little darts, even maybe like a contour dart on the back on each side. I mean, just a little, just to kind of bring it, tighten it. It's a little loose on me for the shoulders, but you know, that's what you get. It was a medium, and that's what I usually take and everything, but it's just a little loose, but that's okay. I'm gonna fix that up. Okay, so that's that video. I will make a special video. I'll pull a name out. I have to verify everybody that is a subscriber, and then I will pull out a name for the free pattern. So you all have a great afternoon, and I will see you next time. I think we're going to be doing this one right here. So that's C and E. The pants are E and C. This is $59.63. I'll probably be doing this one. And I was just looking at their sizes. Yeah, medium is like, should have fit, but that's okay. So I will talk to you all later. Have a great afternoon.